Greetings. Just going to wait for some folks to come on. Tonight we are going to be doing an ancestral libation service. Make sure this is turned up. All right, let me share this out. Share it to my group. There we go. Tag some folks. All right. And so whenever you connect to this, transmission is perfect for you. I want to invite you to bring all of your energy down, 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 down into your womb. Drop it all the way down into your root, down to your vaginal opening. Root locking yourself in. Down, ground, clearing out all the energies of this day, of this night. Just asking for fresh, invigorating energy just coming in. Taking some deep breaths. Doing some surrender breaths. It feels so good to surrender. And I'm blessing you in the frequency of great grace. Divine grace, divine grace, divine grace. That is the current frequency that I am in. I move from frequency to frequency, but my ultimate frequency is Womb Goddess. Within Womb Goddess, there is tons and tons of frequency. And tonight, this frequency is about great grace and surrender. And so how does this look with our ancestral fathers? I have been in a very deep, resonating connection with my ancestral father, my maternal ancestral father, for a very, very, very long time. In fact, he's my primary ancestral guide. And I never knew him in this lifetime. However, he claims me as his own. I claim him as my own. And I absolutely love my granddaddy. And he nourishes me in the place where I need it the most. He anchors, he provides all of that masculine energy, that father, that great patriarchal energy in nourishing my feminine, my system, my innocence, that allows for me to surrender, allows for me to take on the father wisdom and let that weave in my system. And so when we allow ourselves to surrender and open, we can then become in a place of peace with our well ancestors, our well ancestral fathers, And that allows for us to go into a place of rest when you feel that anchoring, especially if you are a woman who have various masculine, paternal, daddy wounds, patriarchal wounds, all these various different wounds that we have from the ancestral, from the patriarchal, the paternal side, the actual side, or just in general with men, right? Many of us experience a lot of wounding and things that we have. It may not even be ours, maybe from the ancestral mothers, from your mother, that has been passed on through epigenetics in our blood. So when you are able to, and you intend to, allow yourself to come into a place of surrendering to the love that the ancestral fathers have for you, your most well, your most loving ancestral fathers on your maternal and your paternal side. What that does is allows you to be anchored. It allows you to rest in your feminine. It allows you to call on the gifts of the masculine that the masculine has for you through your ancestral fathers. It's so miraculous when we let ourselves open up. Can you intend for that with me? To allow yourself to open up to the graces that is available to you. The stream of grace. To be inside great grace that is your ancestral fathers. Yes, there is some unraveling of patterns. Yes, there may even be some unraveling of some ancestral mother stuff that disconnects you from the power, the potency, the love, the gifts, the provision, the protection, the wisdom, the patriarchal wisdom that is available for you, that sits with your ancestral fathers. And they are here, and they are here, and they are here. And all that you got to do is sincerely call on them. The mighty warriors, the wisdom, the elders, the protection, all of the gifts that the masculine that we see in this world through our own beloved masculine men who are in our life, that too is amplified in the ancestral realm for us as women, as feminine women. And so this is what has happened for me in my system. The more I open and allow my ancestral father to anchor me, to guide me, the more I am able to soften into my feminine essence, because I feel that covering of father. I feel that anchoring and that guidance and that wisdom, and also that adjustment, and also that discipline that comes from, you think, that Saturn energy that comes from Father, infinite divine Father. So as much as I talk about mother, as much as I pray to mother, as much as I connect with mother through womb, I also connect with father through womb. Did you know that in our own body and on the right side of our womb, this whole side of our body is ancestral father, is paternal side. You have aches here, you have pains here. You need to think about what is happening in my paternal side, of my pelvic bowl, my holy bowl, my womb. What is going on here? How can I connect in resonance with what's happening in my paternal line? You can connect with that because in the womb, there's all source, there's all power. You connect with that frequency to allow yourself to unravel, to go into the patterns, to go into the truth, to allow for the graces that help you to surrender unto the love and in the goodness that is available to you, the blessings and the gifts of your father energy. The ancestral fathers that is in your system that needs to be unraveled and lifted up to the light, as well as the blessings of the well ancestral fathers that is within you, that is within your system, and that is also out of you, right? As within, so without, as above, so below. Because we always have ancestral energies. We have a million ghosts in our body, in our system. It is our commitment and our responsibility to allow for ourselves to unravel these patterns. But as we unravel the patterns, the ancestral patterns as relates to masculine, as it relates to father, as it relates to patriarchy, as it relates to all of the feminine wounding, all of the things, right? All of the stuff that is yours, that may be your mother's. Remember to take up the blessings. Take up the blessings. Take up the blessings of those daddies that are there and available for you, and how they move in other masculines, in other men. I don't know how many times I have heard my ancestral father give me messaging, and then here comes my husband. Right? I have prayed to my ancestral father, then here comes a masculine in my family stepping in. You see, we have this available to us through the grace of the mother, by being able to open up and soften, asking the divine mother to help us to soften in our woman, our innocence, so that we can experience the blessings of our ancestral fathers. So I want to ask you tonight, what is the great grace that is available for you? What are the graces? This is the messaging that's coming through. There are so many miracles and graces and blessings that are available for us on our paternal side. When I'm saying paternal, I'm speaking the paternal ancestral line and the mother fathers, right? The maternal side, the fathers of the maternal side, the fathers of the paternal side, the great patriarchy. Do you still pray to Father God? When you pray to Father God, when you call on the infinite divine great masculine energy, can come in through the ancestral fathers, can come in through the men that's in your life, can come through a very stranger. The energy can come down in and through, because the divine masculine work through people, work through men. Oh, what a blessing the masculine is. What a miracle it is to have them available for their expression, for our nourishment, and for our good. And we so also bless them. We are blessed and we bless. The miracles and the graces of our ancestral daddies through our loved ones who have crossed the known and the unknown, those ancestral fathers that we may not even know. We have their miracle love. Earlier I posted about ancestral love gives you power. Love is the greatest source and the greatest of all things. It's the energy of all existence. Love is grace, right? Love is acceptance. Love is all. And it is truly the only power that we will ever need. And so our ancestors love us. To have a devotion out of just routine and this, and I practice this and I practice that, and I have my ancestral pot and I do all these things, but not to recognize that the energy that is actually moving you to be in service to your ancestors and for your ancestors to be in service to you is love. It is the beginning of all. It's the cause of all. It's the end of all. It's the outcome. It is everything. And so when we tap into this energy and this frequency of great grace by way of our ancestral fathers, then we can receive the blessings, we can receive the gifts, we can receive the miracles, because we need them for our feminine system to be anchored here in this earth, to be anchored and covered. When we're asking the feminine within us to open and to be accepting of the messaging and the blessings of the divine masculine that is our ancestral fathers, so that we can soften and we can then be in a place of flow, right? To soften our edges. Because we have that strong masculine energy that's here, the great grace of the Father. This is what has been true for me, right? I have been with my ancestral father for quite some time, years. He has been extremely active in my life. I work with him in my system day in, day out. He gives me messages through my husband, through here, through. It is very well possible for you to be in a deep devotion with your ancestral fathers and the ancestral fathers that also work in your system that needs to be unraveled, the ancestral patterns that needs to be unraveled, right? So what is the healing that's here for you? What is the gifts? What are the blessings? What are the graces? What is the miracles that is available for you through reverence, through veneration, through honoring, through connecting in love and connecting in grace with your paternal lineage. Ashe? Yes. With your paternal lineage. So I want to invite you to sit with that for yourself. What is here? What is ready? What's available for you? What can I ask for help with? What can I offer up? How can I be of service? This is a reciprocal relationship and connection with your fathers. How can I set boundaries with my ancestral fathers for my feminine, so for my sovereignty? And how can I simply unravel the wounds within my feminine that may not be mine, that will allow me to open up to receive the blessings of my fathers? My goodness, my goodness. When I'm saying this, I can speak to this from a personal space, because of the wounding that I have experienced with my own father. And because of that, your own father represents the paternal line, right? Is your dad, your dad's dad, and your dad's dad, and your dad's dad. And so what happens is, if you have issues with your father, whether you're a man or you're a woman, you begin to feel disconnected. And so then you kind of, and you're human, you may disconnect from the whole side. The gifts, the stuff that you can't even connect with, wondering why you're having all these various patterns and things that's happening in your life, the epigenetics, all of the things that's actually connected to that side, because you're so disconnected from it, because you may have father wounding, or your mother then projected herself upon her, or the collective feminine, and how the collective feminine feel about the patriarchy and all of these things. There's so much here. All of the things that keep us from the gifts and the blessings. My goodness, I feel my womb lit up, of the fathers that's ready and available to us, given that we ask, given that we commit, given that we take on the discipline of our fathers and the power of our fathers to strengthen our feminine system, to devote ourselves in reverence and reciprocity, so we can receive the blessings and we can unravel all the paternal stuff, all the paternal patterns that are in our system. The truth is, for a very long time, I have been in a deep devotion. I want to say for the past 7 months, I have been in a serious unraveling of ancestral patterns in my system that was connected to my paternal line that I had no idea that was running. And now I have this almost, I would say, like this entity of this ancestral little girl who shows up, and she shows up in her energetic whenever, my ego is an egoic pattern that looks like an ancestral little girl, and shows up. And you may have this, but you may not be aware of how these patterns take their shapes and create energetics within themselves, within your ego, to protect you. I bless her. But I know that energetic comes from patterning that's connected to my ancestral father on my dad's side. Because why? He was born in Mississippi and he experienced, strange fruit. All right. A lot of this stuff that is coming through that we live with as women, that we may not necessarily connect with, because we have a disconnection from our father roots. Why? Because of the collective, because of the patriarchy, because of this, because of our mamas, because of our ancestral mamas, just so many things. So many reasons why in our own personal life, as well as, our mothers, And so I think about my own mom and the work that I've done this summer in regards to my connection with my father, in my desire to be more deeply connected. It's an ongoing thing, more deeply connected with my father, and holding that energetic within my system of my mom, not really she's in the ancestral realm, desiring for that. And she decided to say, you know, well, I chose him and that's your father and that's what it is. And I felt a lot of opening there. It's an ongoing thing, but when we get still, we look at ourselves, we get honest with ourselves, we admit, we confess the truth to ourselves, we unravel by way of grace what's happening here that's connected to our paternal lineage and our mother's ancestral father lineage. We could then get honest with it, right? Get a scope, unravel that stuff through grace, only divine grace, okay? And love and patience and kindness with ourselves. And we can take up the love, and once we have that opening there, clearing that stuff out, right? Clearing that wound out, right? And having that opening there to soften into, yes, I receive the love, I receive the graces, I receive the kindness and the goodness and the guidance, and I can trust. I can build up the trust with the masculine again. And so if you are not a woman that have no feminine wounding at all that you can identify as it relates to ancestral fathers, you had your dad there, he's present, you connected to your grandfather and all them and all that stuff, and you have a very strong masculine lineage, then I invite you to continue to go deeper and deeper and deeper into your ancestral father portal within yourself, within your own body, within your womb. How can you be of greater service? How can you call on the power, the provision, and all the things that the masculine can only provide through the power of God the Father, right? Through the power of great grace and through the power and truly the commitment that the ancestral fathers have for you as their child and for legacy. And so recently I had an experience as it relates to men. And one of my ancestral fathers came to me and said, men need to connect with their ancestral fathers so that they can receive the strength, the power, the might in their soul and in their bodies, and they can return. They can be strengthened through the power of the ancestral fathers. And I thought, my goodness, how many men are not connected to their ancestral fathers in general, right? We know we have all types of men who carry priest energy. They do the work, they do the unraveling, and yet there are so many more who have no idea, right? Who may not have that ancestral consciousness, or they're in it, they're getting in it, but they haven't tapped in to the power of their ancestral fathers and unraveled any wounding that they have, unravel all the things within themselves, and also receive the blessings of their ancestral fathers as well. So this is not just like a feminine thing or a masculine thing, right? And so what's happening with me is I am looking at by way of the mother, because she don't want us to forget about her sons. And this particular ancestral father that came through in this lineage, long lineage, right? He talked about how the women will nurture the little boys to remember all of the things, to remember the ancestral fathers, to call on the ancestral fathers, to have all these various practices so that when they get up and be grown men, they will be strengthened in the legacy of their fathers. And so when I think about what does this mean for me as a mother who have a son, right? In my way of teaching him ancestral veneration, and also what does it look like by way of my husband blessing him, letting him see him pour libations and all of the things, because the masculine have their own way of operating the spirit. It has nothing to do with me. But as a mother, I can still train up a child, right? In that honor and having that ancestral consciousness. And so the mother has given me, with the blessing of my ancestral father, to open myself up, to be in service to the masculine, to be in service to men who have a desire to strengthen their connection, to strengthen their power, to strengthen their masculinity by way of ancestral connection, unraveling patterns, veneration, and just feeling the connection and the closeness of their ancestral fathers in their own system and through them. So if you are a man, I am open for you. Just connect with me, and we can do that devotion together. And likewise for women, it's all through the womb. We connect with power. We connect with all life, all living thing through our womb source. So as far as the feminine goes, I am connecting with one-on-one immersions, feminine immersions, and we doing all the stuff, womb healing and all the things. I have found that it is far more better for me to do one-on-one containers with women as it relates to the ancestral fathers than groups, because so much comes up that's very personal to that woman to weave it in her system. And so we'll do all the things as far as the ancestral father immersion with the women. But I am so blessed to, after a long devotion, 7-month devotion of ancestral healing in this container, 8 weeks womb ancestral healing devotion. That's kind of just around the season that I have done. All this year been around ancestral healing, y'all, for me. That the mother has stepped in and the opening has come in, a blessing of my ancestral fathers to work with men. I've worked with women in the past, and now it's coming back around for the strengthening of the masculine through the connection of their ancestral fathers. So men, come on and be blessed. And so I want to go ahead and let's do a meditation and a prayer. I want you to connect with your water. If you have your water, the water uptakes everything. This is life, is all things, right? So if you have your water, we're going to do and say a blessing and say a prayer over this water. We're going to pour the libation. This is the dark moon. And for me, this is the close of Womb Ancestral Season 2021. As I said, if you have a deep desire to connect with me to do a womb immersion with your ancestral father, it's going to include womb healing, ancestral line clearing, all the things, right? For the masculine, is in divination, of course. It's going to include divination. It's going to include ancestral line clearing, and we're going to do the strengthening that's necessary for the masculine for men and for the women, because this is what I have been given to do as a womb ancestral priestess, right? So I want you to get your water. We're going to bless this water. We're going to say a prayer, and I'm asking that you open yourself up to connect with the infinite stream of grace that is available to you. The stream of grace. Why are we weaving grace in the frequency of grace, surrender, and acceptance? Because all of that, it really lives on the huge thread of divine love. Why are we weaving that? Because sometimes I want to say all the time, it is by the grace of God. God is infinite divine intelligence that we are able to have the strength and the devotion, the commitment, the dedication. The human willingness to unravel ancestral patterns as it relates to our father wounding, as it relates to our feminine wounding, as it relates to the collective, to really go inside of that and unravel those patterns and soften, to allow ourselves to open up as women, to receive the love that the ancestral and the grace, the blessings that the ancestral fathers have for us. We are all sovereign. We have free will. But what you don't want to do is have a callous upon you because of your experiences with men, because of your experience with your father, because of your experience with your uncle. All of that stuff can be unwired. It can. And love can come in, and grace can come in and soften you, so that all of these fathers that's here and the Holy Father that's available to us can bless us, and we can soften into our feminine. Likewise, for the men, as I said, the fathers can come in and help you to be strengthened in your legacy, so that you are walking the path of your ancestral father path, strong and mighty in your manhood. Right? So we're looking at this from the feminine and from the masculine, what's necessary, right? And dear mothers, I want to bless you to help your little boys to remember and develop ancestral consciousness in the way that they're strengthening their masculinity by way of connect with their ancestral fathers. I wanted to say one more thing before we did the prayer, is that, let me drink some water. When we are thinking about ancestral fathers, right, this is going to pick up the energy in no way. So I'm going to stay here for a minute. But when we are thinking about ancestral fathers, okay, most folks automatically, like, they go to their dad's side. All right, so we have the mothers of our the fathers on our maternal side. We have the fathers on our paternal side. The fathers of our paternal side have mothers. So a lot of times what happened was, and a lot of folks get so surprised when we do the womb ancestral divination and mothers come up and they're like, oh, but that's my dad's side, right? Because of, stuff happens and you lose that connection and the resonance with your father's side. And so you have the mothers, the lineage of mothers that's also on your father's side, your paternal side, that you could connect with through womb. Yes, yes. Now, it's not the mitochondrial DNA, the womb of the womb of the womb that you were birthed in, but it's through the frequency of the blood, of the DNA that is in your body that's connected to your father. Your father have two parents, yes? So the mothers of your father, right? That mother energy, the blessings as well as the patterns are in you. I'm going to say that again. Do not forget about your ancestral mothers as it relates to your connection with the patriarchy, your connection with your father, living or in the ancestral realm, your connection with your father's whole side, your connection with the understanding of what patterns is in you as it relates to your ancestral father's side, as it relates to the blessings, the miracles that are available for you as well. So keep in mind of your ancestral mothers on your paternal side always, because they also walk with us and we can also access them through our body, through our womb bowl, and through, honestly, infinite divine truth. Right? And access that and activate their blessings and also minimize, diminish the patterns. I say that to say because if you know me, I have been practicing ancestral consciousness for a very long time now. I don't even know, almost a decade or something, actively out loud. And I have always been the type of person to hold the intention that I embrace all of my ancestry. I promise you, if I did not embrace my European ancestry, I would hate myself. Look at me. Look at my skin. I would hate myself. And it's been an ongoing thing of acceptance of all of my ancestry. And I have gotten to that place this year of such a deep resonant acceptance of all of my ancestry, particularly my European ancestry, that the fathers show up, the mothers show up. I receive the blessings of the fathers. I receive the guidance of the fathers. I also see the the other stuff, right? Ooh, no. Okay, no. I don't want that stuff. So let me unravel that in my system, because it's the same thing, whether it's African, Italian, whatever your ancestry is shit to be unraveled, and it's blessings to get up and pick up, right? And carry with you. That's just life. Okay. And so when we think about the mothers of our father, I had this ancestral mother come and I was hearing a baby. I was hearing a baby crying of one of my European ancestral mothers on my dad's side, right? We're talking about the father's side. On my dad's side, and I was feeling all of this pain in my pelvic bowl and in my womb, and I was hearing this baby cry, and I connected to this frequency of just loss, deep maternal loss. If you have been connecting with my frequency and reading my stuff and following my journey, then you will know that I have gone through a very deep maternal mother portal healing. Lots of maternal loss myself. So when I felt that, I immediately felt in my own body the resonance of that particular European mother. And so I was able to go in and connect with that pattern. It was like in the back of my holy bowl, my pelvic bowl, and I was able to connect with that pattern and unravel it and do some blessings in there. So I say that all that to say that I had about, 4 or 5 just this year experiences with my European ancestral mothers and my European ancestral fathers by way of unraveling stuff, also by way of receiving blessings. I had a blessing of an ancestral mother. She had this beautiful pale skin and red hair, and she was just amazingly gorgeous. Also on my paternal side, she came in and gave me her blessings and her clarity, and it was miraculous. So I say all that to say, if you are going to be devoted to ancestral consciousness, to ancestral veneration, to ancestral womb, ancestral healing, to not just, listen, the ancestors is not just for like All Souls Day. It's not just for October. The ancestors is every day of your life, right? Because you are always activating their energy within you through epigenetics, right? It's science. Science, right? And you are always living out. That's it. We're full of ghosts, right? That's just what it is. And so it is better for you to practice ancestral devotion, ancestral consciousness. That way you can operate in a place of sovereignty versus being thrown to and fro and you got this ancestor on your back and this and that. And listen, no, okay. No, I choose to live in sovereignty. I choose to have my freedom. I choose to unravel these patterns, whatever it is. In me, I choose to have my ancestral consciousness. My goodness. For my soul first and for my babies, right? Right? So whatever we do, we blessing the lineage. We blessing it back. It all continues to flow and flow and flow. And truly, whatever we do in our womb, we bless all wombs. We bless all women. We bless all lineages. We are human. We are great mother and body. We bless all. Everything is blessed. All of humanity is blessed by your devotion. I want to say that one again. All of humanity is blessed by your devotion. What you do for one, you do for all. That's just it. We're all one and we're all connected. And so from that consciousness, I have this space, was shown, I have this space within me to connect with my ancestral mothers and my ancestral fathers that is of European descent. Why? Because it's necessary for me to be whole. Okay. That's it. It's necessary for me to be whole. Right. And so I'm blessed in that way, to do that. And because of that, I was able to clear some patterns and things from my womb. I was able to receive the blessings of my ancestral mothers. All on my paternal side, I was able to receive the blessings that came down from my paternal side in regards to working with the masculine, and the masculine being strengthened in their ancestral veneration in their path. At an appointed time, whenever, the guys come, we do the thing, right? How it's going to look, I don't know, but I'm open to be in service. Your yes matters. Your yes, 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 yes. That's all you got to keep saying is yes. Yes, I'll receive the blessings. Yes, I will accept the charge. Yes, I will honor all of my ancestral frequencies. Yes, I will dismantle and diminish and dissolve through the grace and love of God, Goddess, infinite divine intelligence, those patterns that are not for my highest and well-being and for the divine will of love in my life that I have chosen in this lifetime for myself. Yes, I will do the devotion work. Yes, I will receive the blessings and acceptance. Yes, I will look. Yes, I will confess. Yes, I will do the work. It is a daily commitment, a daily devotion that you could just live this magic, and it's so magical and it's so beautiful. Whether you are at an ancestral altar or you just in your kitchen with your ancestors and you just talking to your fathers, or whatever you are doing and however you do it, you are sovereign, and I trust that you can do it well. Okay, whatever is real for you is real for you, and there are practices and there are rules and regulations to alchemy and how you do things that is for your highest and best good and for your knowledge, right? For your wisdom, for order, right? That's just ma'at, right? And so that's why people like us come in, priestesses and ancestral, healers and all that stuff. We come in that we can support you in your own ancestral path by way of our lived experience, by way of our transmission of wisdom from divine source, by way of all the trainings and all of the things that are available for you. But ancestral medicine is available for you. It's natural, it's what it is, and it's human, right? And so I just wanted to bless you with that and share with you what I have been experiencing and I continue to experience as it relates to ancestral devotion through my feminine, right? I weave in my feminine system. And so when I connect with this particular prayer that had came down to me through the frequency of grace, when I pray this prayer, it's an opening for me to invite healing, invite miracles, invite grace, all the graces. There are so many graces that are available to you in the universe, in the multiverse, in your own womb, in your own feminine system, in your own ancestral system. There's so many graces. But when we just slow down enough to ask, when we just slow down enough to trust, and when we just slow down enough to accept, and when we just slow down enough to connect with sovereignty, when we just slow down enough to connect with divine love, when we just slow down enough to pick up those graces, even while we unravel the ancestral shit that is in us and that we see in our family, because we the ones that said, you know what, I'm gonna do it, okay? And what I do for one, I do for all, because we're all connected and human. And so when I connect with this particular prayer that I'm going to bless y'all with, we're going to connect with it. I bless you to be in resonance. For me, I feel the adjustment in my feminine system of the blessings of the masculine. Does that mean I am connecting with my masculine side? No, I don't have a masculine side. I'm a feminine woman. Whatever looks like masculine to anybody else, that is just my maiden. That's just the active, dynamic part of myself as a woman in my cycle, right? I am all woman. Let me just clarify that. What happens is I get the support in my system of the masculine. I can feel it in my body, the side of my body that's connected to the DNA of my ancestral father's paternal line. I can feel that what is needed here, structure, what is needed, that Saturn energy, what is needed here, some discipline, what is needed here, some provision, what is needed here, some protection, what is needed here, some divine guidance. The gifts of the masculine can come through because of the opening of the prayer and the ask and the acceptance of it to weave in your system as a feminine being, and likewise as a masculine being, the acceptance of this energy to come through you through the gifts of your father by way of grace. Ashe. So this is what we're doing here. We are calling on the frequency. We are calling on the frequency of great grace, and we are blessing, right? We are putting this prayer in our water, and we are blessing it so that we can get connected. My God. It is my prayer for every soul that watches this transmission. I don't care when you watch it, today, tomorrow, next year, 5 years from now, because this is the internet and it will be available, that you will have the heart and the trust. No matter what is going on, no matter what of your wounding, no matter what the collective as it relates to the get under the noise, get under the story, get under all the stuff of the patriarchal this and that and this and that and my daddy and this and that and men and da-da-da. Get under that. I beg you all, get under it. Get to the grace and the mercies and the love, the blessings, even as you unravel shit, the blessings that are here and available for you now. The now, that's your now, whenever you connect to this truth. Because it's here for you. Let the fathers come on in. And they can begin to talk to you. I don't know how many times my mother, my grandmother on my dad's side has talked to me. She passed when my youngest uncle, she gave birth, she passed away, and she left her babies, right? My dad is the oldest. She talked to me about her regret and how it pains her. I hear for my dad's dad, and what these things mean. When you connect and you allow yourself to open up, you can commune with the ancestral fathers no matter the wound. by grace will allow that to soften. And by grace will allow you to strengthen that relationship. Your relationship good, you ain't got no father wounds. I'm happy for you. Okay? Then how can I be of greater service? How can I be more strengthened? Tight knit is what my mom would call it. With my ancestral father line. How can I get their medicine, their wisdom, their blessing, their graces, their miracles, their faith that they have, their love that gives me power and freedom? How can I receive their blessings in my life? And I can pass that on to my babies. I can pass that and bless that on to my grandbabies. I can pass and bless that on because I am open to receive the power and the love and the support of my well ancestors. And likewise, I am willing to unravel the shit of my unwell ancestral fathers in a blessing. Alafiache. So that's what that is. So we call on great grace. I bless you now. When you get your water, do your water and all the things, right? And call on the energy of great grace. Infinite divine grace that is just, it pours into you from love. May your soul be lifted. May your heart be lifted, your mind, your body, all of your energy centers. May your highest self, may your Ori agree and come into agreement. May all the egoic patterns come in through sovereignty into agreement with this grace that is here for you. I'm asking now that your system be filled with divine grace for fulfillment of your destiny as it relates to the connection with your ancestral fathers, the communion and the unraveling of patterns within your system, and the glory, the love and the joy and the happiness. My goodness, I'm so happy to be connected and to have the wisdom and the consciousness. Let yourself be filled up. Let yourself be filled up with the love and the grace that's available for you. I bless you now to feel, to know, to connect with, to see in your own abilities. That a stream of grace is flowing, is pouring in your soul now. And that this grace is carrying you through. It's carrying you through for the remainder of the day. It's carrying you through for the remainder of the week. It's carrying you through for the remainder of the month. It's carrying you through for the remainder of the season. It's carrying you through for the remainder of the year. It's carrying you through for the remainder of this situation. It's carrying you through this great grace. Feel the energy of grace pour into you, wash over you, filling up your system, every cell of your body. Connect with the energy of golden grace. And speak your blessings in your water to your ancestral fathers. How you desire for their connection and communion. How you desire for their well-being on the other side. How you desire for reciprocity. How you desire for their gifts and their miracles. How you desire to unravel the patterns that is not for your highest and best good in this lineage. How you desire your human. How you desire to be grounded. How you desire the gifts of the masculine through your fathers, and how you bless them so, and how you bless them so. Do you know just even your father, just think of just one thing your granddaddy, your uncle on your paternal side, your maternal grandfather, that you know, that's your folks. Even the ones that you don't, that you know that's operating in spirit for your greatest good. My goodness. Think of one thing that you could be grateful for. Just one thing. Because their love is here for us. Their blessings is here for us. Their wisdom. And pour that love into your water. Pour the gratitude and that reverence and that thank you. Let your tears be a blessing. Let your heart open and crack in gratitude and graciousness, because you are alive. If nothing else, you have the DNA of that man. If nothing else, you have the DNA of those fathers in this lifetime that you have chosen, because you are sovereign. Let us not forget. Bless your ancestral fathers and bless them in how they move the masculine around you for support and for love, even if you don't see it as a woman. And I ask that the men that may watch this, who feel called to me as a priestess, that they will sit and think about how they are strengthened as men because of feeling, because of thought, because of training, how they are strengthened because of their fathers. And so we bless ourselves. Yeah, we unravel. Yes, we do that. Yes, we do that. And we also give thanks. And we also give thanks. And we also give thanks. And so I bless you in this prayer. Bless me, divine masculine. Holy Father. Do you still pray to the Father? I am all about the Mother. Believe me, I'm all about the Mother. But there's nothing like praying to the great Holy Father. My goodness, that adjust you and soften you, right? So bless me, divine masculine. Holy Father, with your gifts, with your grace, the gifts of man. See, the masculine have a distinct gift that is brought on this planet. We bless that gift and how it shows up for us. The gifts and the graces that only the masculine can give. The gifts and the graces that only our ancestral fathers can give. Both on our maternal and our paternal side, Ashe. The gifts of the masculine in and through their very distinct expression. I give thanks for that in my life. I give thanks for how my ancestral fathers move in my system for my good. I accept that blessing. So you have to be in acceptance. May this great grace work in my system. May it work in my feminine system according to divine love. My babies, don't you know, whenever there is love, that's it. That's all it is. You do not have to be afraid of working with your ancestors because of love. When you operate from that frequency of, we say Ushun, when we operate from that frequency, because she is the divine law of love, when we operate from that frequency of grace and love, there's nothing for you to fear. It's all in you. You are a sovereign soul. So I call on a frequency of Ushun. I call on the frequency of what? Divine love. To be operating in me through my veneration, through my connection, through my reverence, through my communion, my relationship and unraveling. I call on grace. I call on great grace in me. And I accept the gifts of the masculine in the frequency of surrender, because my goodness, there is nothing like feminine surrender, the softening and the opening to receive your blessings. May these gifts of grace work according to divine love within me in the opening, in the adjustments of my system. Because I trust it. Because I trust it. I've been devoted long enough to know there is no harm coming to me by opening up to the masculine, the Holy Father, my ancestral fathers. There's no harm coming to me by unraveling, being brave, feminine courage to unravel those patterns of my ancestral mothers on my daddy's side, my dad, the relationship. There's no harm there because I am operating in grace. Where there is grace, there is nothing but love. Ashe. So I want to invite you one last time to connect what is here for you. What is the truth that's here for you at this time? You could come back and connect with this transmission as much as you like. But what's true for you now? What's true for you now to be in service? What's true for you now to offer up? What's true for you now to be strengthened, to receive the gifts and the graces? What's true for you now to unravel for your freedom? I bless you. I bless you to go forth, pour your libations, and be well. And I love you so very, very much. If you feel called to connect with me in a one-on-one container for a ancestral father immersion, whether you are a male or you are a female. Some women don't like it female. I mean female-bodied, feminine essence woman. Or you are a man who desires to be strengthened in your ancestral devotion to gain wisdom and knowledge and power by being strengthened in your ancestral lineage, in your paternal lineage. Just reach me by however, inbox me, DM me, email me, do whatever you want. Find me. I welcome you. This is my devotion, my life's work. So you are very welcome. And I will be very happy to be of service. And when it's time, whenever it's divine time, I will hold the circles. I will do all the things. I want my medicine to come through very potently in a one-on-one container now. It feels more fitting and true in my body. So I love you so very much. I hope that this has been a blessing to you. Blessed ancestral season, dark moon, which is New Year, all the things. And whenever you watch this, it is true for you. It's the right time. Ashe. I love you. I love you. I love you. I love you. Blessings. Now go pour your libations. You hear me? I love you.